Hey guys, welcome to a new lesson of working backwards with circumference and area. So we have worked forward. That means we have been given the diameter, given the radius, and now we're going to be given the circumference, given the area, and try to find one of the diameter or the radius. So just to recap, what is the diameter? Well, that line goes all the way across. The diameter is 7 meters. The radius is half of that, or 3.5 meters. Okay. Find the circumference of the circle. Circumference formula is C is equal to pi times the diameter. So the diameter is 7, so that is 7 pi. This says find in terms of pi. So in terms of pi, I am done. So I just got to add my units, meters. Find the circumference rounded to the nearest tenth. So circumference is equal to 7 pi. So I'm going to my calculator over here, and I am typing in 7 times pi, and I get 21.9911 rounded to the nearest tenth, so that 9 rounds that 9 up, so that the circumference is equal to 22.0, again, meters. Right? Find the area in terms of pi. So area equals pi times the radius squared. The radius is 3.5 squared times pi. So again, go to my calculator to do 3.5 squared. And the area is 12.25 pi. And this time, it is meters squared. Okay? So square that radius before you multiply it times pi. So this one says 12.25. It says use 3.14 instead of pi. So instead of where there was a pi, I'm going to put 3.14. Again, go into my calculator. Times 3.14 is 38.465. So the area is equal to 38.465. We are at meters squared, always squared, because that's what area is. Okay? Today we're going to work backwards. So now on those two examples, we were given the diameter and radius. We had to find the circumference and the area. Now we're going to be given either the area or the circumference, and we're going to be asked to find the diameter or the radius. So when I do this, there's some quick instructions here. Underline the highlighted words. Write down the formula of whatever's given. We're going to substitute it in. And then we're going to use inverse operations. We're going to solve the equation that results. Okay? Here we go. Number one. A planar has a circumference. Okay, so they have the circumference. What is the diameter? Okay, so let's see here. This is what we got. Circumference equals pi times diameter. I know you can't do this at home, but when I take that circumference, it tells me my circumference is 36 pi. So instead of circumference, I have 36 pi. Now I can use inverse operation. This is pi times the diameter. The inverse of multiplying is dividing. So in this case, pi cancels itself out on both. So 36 is the diameter. So the diameter is equal to 36 inches. Okay? So I'm dividing by pi because the last step was multiplied by pi. Now I'm dividing by pi because I'm doing inverse operation. So if the circumference of a circle is 120 centimeters, determine the radius. Oh, man. So there's the circumference. This time we're looking for radius, so there will be one more step at the end. So again, circumference equals pi times diameter. I'm going to do it like you could do it in pencil. 120 is your circumference. That is equal to pi times diameter. Well, again, I'm looking for the diameter. Inverse of multiplying by pi is dividing by pi. Okay? So what I'm going to do here is go and do 120 divided by, and I'm using the pi button. Alright, so 38.197. 38.197, so the diameter is equal to 38.197. Okay, so round to the nearest tenth. So the diameter is equal to 38.2. Am I done? Well, no, it says find the radius, and radius is just half of the diameter. So my radius is equal to 19.1 centimeters. Okay, so dividing by pi is our first step, and that is going to be your first step when you try these next two. So try number one, answer it, and then I'm going to show you how to do it right now. Okay, so again, circumference is equal to pi times diameter. The circumference is 50 pi. Inverse operation. So dividing both by 50. So 50 is equal to the diameter. One check. Oh, it said, what is the radius? So if the diameter is 50, the radius is half of that. Okay. So you're going to try number two now. Oh, there we go. You're going to try number two. Okay, the distance around a traffic circle is 785 feet. 785 is equal to pi times diameter. I'm going to do the same thing. Divide by pi. So 785 divided by pi. 249.87. 249.87. So this is 249.87 is equal to the diameter. This is round out to your nearest foot, so that rounds up to 250. And it says, what is the distance across the diameter? So we have, the answer is 250 feet. Okay, hopefully you did those well. We are now going on to area. So area has a little bit of a different process. Starts very similar, but now because of the radius squared, we have to do the inverse of squaring. What is the inverse of squaring? Well, the inverse of squaring is taking the square root, and that's going to be our last step when we do the go backwards using area. Okay, so again, the area formula is area equals pi times the radius squared. We have our area of 25 pi. What is the radius? So our area is 25 pi. Okay, I'm going to start the same way. Divide by pi. That cancels, that cancels. So 25 is equal to the radius squared. Squaring is saying take that number and multiply it by itself. You've been doing that. So taking the square root, it's asking what number times itself is equal to that underneath the square root. So what number times itself is equal to 25? Maybe you know that. If you don't, you can put it in the calculator. I'm going to show you how to do that real quick. I put on my button, if you're looking for something that looks like that little check mark, square root of 25 is equal to 5. Okay? So our radius is 5. We're going to do something very similar here when we look at when they give us a number. What is the area of circle is 113. Determine the diameter. Okay, so got to make sure we read these answers or questions carefully. Round it to the nearest whole number. So area equals pi times the radius squared. The area is 113. What is my first step? Yep, we're going to divide by pi. All right. So when I divide by pi, I don't know off the top of my head what 113 divided by pi is, so I'm using a calculator. 113 divided by pi is 35.96. 35.96 rounded to the nearest whole number is 36. So I'm trying to get rid of that exponent of 2. To do that, I take the square root. It's the inverse. Squaring and square root are the inverse operations. Square root of 36 is 6. This one says determine the diameter. So if the radius is 6, the diameter is twice as big as the radius. So the diameter is equal to 12. Let's look at our units here. This one is centimeters, 12 centimeters. Okay. All right, you're going to try number 1 and number 2 and check the and then check with me afterwards. So try number 1 right now. Area equals 64 pi. So pi r squared is equal to 64 pi. Divide both sides by pi. So the radius squared is equal to 64. Take the square root of both. The square root of 64 is 8. Okay. It says what is the radius? So the radius is equal to 8 inches. Okay, hopefully number 1 went well. Please try number 2 now. What is the diameter if the area is 35.6? So area equals pi times the radius squared. I'm looking for diameter, so that's going to be one extra step at the end there. So 35.6 is equal to pi r squared. Okay, I am going to divide by pi to start on both. And I have no idea what, let's see it, 35.6 divided by pi is equal to 11.33. Okay, so 11.33 is equal to our radius squared. So I'm going to take the square root of that. And the other ones were perfect squares, so I knew the answers. This one I have no idea, so I'm going to say give me the square root of our previous answer equals to 3.366. So the radius is equal to 3.366. Let's see where we're rounding to the nearest tenth. So we'll call that radius 3.4. We are looking for the diameter, which in this case is going to be double of 3.4 or 6.8 centimeters. Okay. Hopefully it went well today. And if not, email me and talk to you soon. Bye.